Hello there, you're looking for something to watch? Well, I got fresh tech news right here. Hello everyone and welcome to News Tone. I'm your host Haris and today we got some delicious news. Let's get started. Wow, Honor Magic 3 and Magic 3 Pro just launched and bring Snapdragon 888 Plus, cinematic video recording and 66-watt charging. The latest flagship Honor phones are finally here with the brand new Magic 3 series. We got the regular Magic 3 and Magic 3 Pro, which are similar but also different. These are also the first IMAX enhanced phones on the market. Both of them feature a curved Full HD Plus 6.76-inch OLED display with 120Hz refresh rate. On the front, there's a card for their 30-megapixel main camera alongside a 3D TOF sensor. On the back, both devices come with a 50-megapixel Sony IMX 766 sensor paired with a 64-megapixel monochrome and 13-megapixel ultra-wide. The Pro model also gets a 64-megapixel telephoto with 3.5 optical zoom and up to 100 times digital zoom. Both packs the Snapdragon 888 Plus with up to 12 GB of RAM and 112 GB of storage. They also have the same 4600 mAh batteries with 66-watt wired charging and 50-watt wireless. The Magic 3 has an IP54 rating, while the Pro IP68. Out is the Honor Magic 3 comes in 2 colors for €900, while the Pro comes in 3 colors for €1100. Quite expensive. But there's more. Not only that, Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus was also announced in the event, which has a bolder design and a beast camera setup. Unlike the other two, this one is a big boy. This one brings 4 cameras with a very large sensor and interesting looks while sharing its screen and internals with the other two. This means that the Magic 3 Pro Plus has a curved 6.67-inch Flex OLED display with 120Hz refresh rate. For this one though, they use a nano crystal shield that is 3 times tougher than normal. They also share the IP68 rating, Snapdragon 888 Plus chipset, 66-watt wired charging, and a 4600 mAh battery. The hexagon camera setup is where the money at. Honor plays a Sony 50-megapixel IMX 700 sensor with an f1.9 lens, while the ultra-wide camera is a 64-megapixel sensor with f2.4. The other two is the same 64-megapixel, f1.8 monochrome, and 64-megapixel telephoto lens with 3.5 optical zoom. The fifth camera, however, is a TOF camera. The punch-hole front camera is also equipped with a TOF sensor. The Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus has only one memory option, 12x512 GB, costing a whole €1,500. Dang! Speaking of cutting edge, Google Pixel 6 and 6 Pro will use the Samsung GN 150-megapixel sensor. Wow, finally! The Google Pixel 6 series will indeed use the 50-megapixel Samsung GN1 sensor for their main cameras, just like we reported. The rumor was confirmed by a string of code in Google's new camera app, which arrived with the Android 12 Beta 4. The code mentions P21, which refers to the upcoming Pixel 6 series, attached to a GN1 wide, which is easy enough to crack. The GN1 sensor, which Samsung unveiled last May, has 1.2 micrometer size pixels before binning, which combining them 4 to 1 turns the 50 million 1.2 micrometers pixels to 12.5 million 2.4 micrometer size pixels. I know, big words, but larger pixels equal better camera, alright? Keep in mind the sensor was used in the Vivo X60 Pro Plus, so it's not new, and shouldn't be confused with the GN2 sensor in the Mi 11 Ultra, which has slightly larger pixels. You're lucky to have me because I'm the portal to speed. Good news for gamers, IQOO 8 Pro renders and pricing just got leaked. Yeah, we're expecting this one to launch on August 17, but we got some exclusive render and pricing info for this device. It will come in an exclusive BMW Sport colorway in white, with the signature blue file and red cord stripes. There's also a triple camera setup on the back, which feature a 50-megapixel main, alongside a 48-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 2.5 times zoom lens. In addition to the new renders, we are also treated to a leaked pricing of $818. However, we don't know which RAM and storage support is that, but it looks cool. Wow, WhatsApp can finally transfer chat data between iOS and Android. Oh my god! After being rumored for several weeks, WhatsApp finally enabled message history and content to be transferred between Android and iOS. The feature was officially announced during Samsung Unpacked event. Sadly, the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and the Z Flip 3 will be the first to allow this, but the feature will gradually come to Samsung devices on Android 10 or above before eventually reaching all other Android devices and iPhones in the upcoming weeks. So we'll have to wait, but finally people can switch phone easily. Picked up for Redditors, Reddit is now valued more than $10 billion. Wow! And the company is still planning on going public too. Reddit, the famous site, says it is now valued at more than $10 billion after raising an additional $410 million in funding, with the final round expected to grow up to $700 million. Fun fact, Reddit makes most of the money from advertising, though not as much as Google or Facebook. But yes, the company continues to build and sanitize its business, removing the bad stuff just in case they want to go public sometime soon, you know? Speaking of clean, Instagram just launched limits to hide abusive messages. Instagram has just announced a new feature designed to restrict abusive messages during the bad time. The new limits feature automatically hide comments and messages from people who don't follow or just started following the user who switched it on. They said it was designed to stop abuse from the pile of people who, attack some guy randomly. They also did roll out some more features like this to prevent future attacks like we see last time. Speaking of new, Twitter has just changed the font on its app. Yep, sounds boring, but they also introduced some other design changes. Yay, Twitter is rolling out the cheap font to the Twitter app and feed, which you might have seen in your daily scrolling. Like something looks a little different, right? Twitter detailed the cheap font as one part of a broader brand refresh unveiled in January. Good thing the font isn't the only visual change introduced. They also updated the colors to be high contrast and a lot less blue. There's also a change to the way the follow button looks that kinda sucks. Like, come on Jack, that's confusing. Okay, relax, that's a lot of news, right? Yeah, take a seat and we'll talk later. After you come back on Monday for more juicy tech news like this one and subscribe so you won't miss it. Alright, peace out, brother.